Mercury Analytics is a research company that has done work with MSNBC and Fox News, and they have a new poll out today that should definitely concern liberals. So they say that Trump's first TV ad, quote, actually resonated with Democrats more than expected. About 1/4 of Democrats said they agree completely that the ad raises good points. All right, so let's pause here. That's stunning. 1/4 of Democrats said Trump's first ad, which was just wall-to-wall lies and misinformation. They're like, yeah, no, decent points. All right, now it's getting scary because for a while we thought, well, yeah, Trump's bombastic and he's an idiot and he's over the top, but he's only going to get support from the Republican base, and then eventually even that'll dwindle down and forget it. He won't be leading a month into the primary season or a month into the debates. So much for that. Not only is he leading, he has a commanding lead. Depending on which poll you look at, he has over a 20-point lead in the national polls. Now, obviously, when you go to New Hampshire and Iowa, it's a little bit different, and other people are certainly in the race there. And in fact, I think Ted Cruz is ahead of him in Iowa. But overall, he's absolutely destroying. But the fact that now there are even some Democrats who are like, maybe. Oh, that should have us all scared. And I told you guys from day one, this has very little to do with his actual policy positions because he doesn't have any policy positions. He contradicts himself every 7 minutes. He'll say something that's actually incredibly liberal, like, hey, we should do infrastructure spending and let's stay out of Syria and let other people take care of it. And then he'll flip and say, not only should we be involved in Syria, but we need to attack the family members of ISIS. So he just flip-flops all over the place. So there's got to be another thing. It's not policy that's letting him be this successful so far. It has a lot more to do with bombast and the fact that he doesn't come across like a sleazy politician. So people think wrongly, well, he must be keeping it real because of how he talks. But it's Donald Trump. Of course he's not keeping it real. Just to give you one example, as he points fingers at Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush and the rest of these guys and says, oh my God, they're bought by billionaires and they're their puppets, he went and begged the billionaires to get money from them, and they said no. So that's when he turned around and started bashing the other candidates and the billionaires and saying that big money controls politics. Before that, it was mum's the word because he thought he might be able to get some of that money. So people are falling for it, and that's not pretty. Now, furthermore, that's just the ad. So 25% of Democrats go, well, the ad's okay. By the way, that ad, fact checkers ripped it apart. It shows a border wall a border fence in Morocco and people running for the wall, and they portrayed it like it was in Mexico, and he says we're going to behead ISIS and all types of crazy shit in the ad. But you can say, well, that is just the ad, so that's not indicative of Democrats who are, for example, considering voting for him. So since the 25% is just, hey, credit where credit is due on the ad, we can let it go, no big deal. Well, here's the next fact. Quote, furthermore, about 20% of likely Democratic voters say they would buck the party and vote for Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in a general election. Welcome to the Twilight Zone, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this isn't as concrete and solid as it suggests so far, because they go on to explain in the rest of the article on the Hill that this isn't a matchup against Hillary Clinton. So Hillary Clinton, while she's leading on the Democratic side, she also has very high unfavorables. Now, if it's Bernie Sanders who he's up against, there was a poll from about a month ago, or actually a little less than that, probably 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, that found that Bernie up against Trump, Bernie wins by 13 points. He, quote, destroys him, according to the articles written on this. Not even my words, even though, I have a brain. I see it says 13 points. That's a landslide last time I checked. So this is a cautionary tale. You go for the establishment candidate, Hillary Clinton. The base dislikes her so much that many are going to sit out. But then also there are apparently some more conservative Democrats who would say, no, just to be anti-establishment here, I'd vote for Trump. Oh, goodness. Don't do it, guys. don't let Hillary Clinton get through the primary. Don't do it. It's a disaster waiting to happen. And you know how you know she's a weak candidate? Because the establishment is convinced she's the strongest candidate. So, you know, turn on mainstream media, all you hear, wall-to-wall Hillary on the Democratic side. Obviously, it's wall-to-wall Trump on the Republican side. But for the Democratic Party specifically, you have, you know, the pundits saying, well, come on, are we really having this conversation about Bernie Sanders? I mean, he's too populist and the people like him too much for him to win. What? So, but last time around, there's a reason I say this too. Last time around in 2008, the media was convinced. Barack Hussein Obama, a black guy who's a Democrat who has no experience? No way he's going to do better than Hillary. Hillary's the behemoth. She's going to win everything. She's going to be president. Didn't even get through the primary. Obama beat her in the primary, obviously. So they just assume shit. In the mainstream, they just assert shit. Hillary wins! End of conversation. Let's move along. Well, no, if you look at the actual numbers and you look at the evidence, the data, you find out that 20% of Democratic voters would flee and perhaps go to vote for Donald Trump if Hillary is the one that gets the nomination on the Democratic side. So, reason number 9,476 to vote for Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton.